Hey everybody, this is Finn's Rock here, along with Madden King, to discuss the Dolphins' opening game of the season, Monday Night Football against the Patriots. Actually, Madden King, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Man King here, otherwise known as Supertainment. We're here to talk about the opening game. That's about it.
And our first podcast of hopefully many this season.
Hopefully.
On Dolphins blog on YouTube. Not Dolphins blog, Miami Dolphins Radio, sorry, on YouTube.
Yeah.
And so let's dive right into it, man. Obviously, the big story of the offseason was how is Miami going to improve their offense, okay, which was 31st in touchdowns last year. I think, if I remember correctly, 24th in yards. I mean, just...
Yeah, it wasn't very good at all, to be honest. So it was a really tough idea of having to get rid of what's his name, Henning.
Yep,
he was always with us for a long time. So I mean, like even before his most recent stint here, he was with us then. So it was a tough decision to let him go, but I think we actually made an improvement.
Yeah,
Brian DePaul.
Yeah, I think so too. I think just going by the preseason, it's pretty evident that Dable's offense is much more open and explosive. It's got more creativeness. And it's just better suited for the personnel in place right now, especially for Chad Henne. The problem last year. I mean, I think Dan Henning gets a little too much blame at times for last season. Although I think there's plenty to pass around, but.
Agreed.
I think the new scheme is definitely going to help things out, and I mean really a lot of it is just morale. I mean going into the season with the same offense, the same philosophy, the same would not have excited anybody in the locker room or in the fan base. So I think just the energy that he brings is huge, even just as much so as the X's and O's brought to the table. So last year, something Dolphins struggled with mightily was running the football. And so they got rid of Ronnie Brown, they got rid of Ricky Williams, they got rid of Patrick Cobbs, the top three running backs, brought in Daniel Thomas, brought in Reggie Bush.
Should have kept Larry Johnson.
Yeah, that was a pretty surprising cut, actually. I thought he looked pretty nimble.
He looked pretty, clean for someone who has not, played in a while.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was actually pretty surprised by that cut. But it certainly seems like Miami's going to be throwing the ball a lot more. Obviously, Reggie Bush not the same type of runner that Ronnie Brown and Ricky Williams are, and Daniel Thomas kind of struggled in the preseason, so you would expect Reggie to get most of the carries. And it's going to be a wide open offense, especially week one. These Patriots defensive backs may be the worst set in the league, quite honestly. I think, I actually went to a Patriots training camp earlier this year, and living up here, I've gotten to watch all the preseason games, and Devin McCourty, by far their best player in that secondary, has had a sophomore slump type of an off season.
Yeah.
And they really have nobody else back there, so there should be plenty of opportunities for Miami to move the ball down the field.
Without a doubt, and it all really comes back to Henne. The fact that this year he was able to work so hard on his leadership and contacting everyone on the team. It's all like Henne really improved in a big way.
Yeah, and we started to see that in the preseason. I mean, Henne. I mean, against Carolina and Tampa Bay, Henne was on fire in both of those games, and so it certainly seems like he may be starting to turn it around. I know the weapons he has, are certainly better. I mean, he has not had a Reggie Bush out of the backfield since he's been here. That's huge.
That's very huge.
I mean,
and another big point I'd like to say is like they've moved Brian Hartline to starting receiver, and it just shows that they're ready to move people around, and they're just not going to throw the highest paid person in the starting receiver spot.
Yeah, I mean it's Sperano has tried to always be that way, And I think this year even more so. The guys who are performing are going to get playing time, and Hartline a little bit quieter this preseason number wise, but I actually think he's going to have a big season. With Marshall on the on one side and Reggie Bush commanding so much attention, and obviously everybody knows about Devon Best nowadays. Hartline's going to be one-on-one all season long and should be able to take advantage of it. But getting into this matchup more specifically, obviously I think the thing that most Dolphins fans are worried about, because obviously on the outside, a receiver, we know we have the advantage. The Patriots, they're not going to be able to really match up that well against Brandon Marshall and Reggie Bush and Devon Best, but the big one is the offensive line really struggled in the preseason, and the Patriots have Vince Wilfork and Albert Hainsworth in the middle.
That's just a giant mess. It's hard to explain that one. I'm going to let you go for it because I'm not much of an offensive lineman, but that's a big difficulty we're dealing with right now.
Yeah, and I really thought that Lyden Murtha had a chance to start at right tackle. Maybe not week one, but after a couple weeks, if Colombo didn't get it going, but he got hurt, went on IR. It looks like Nate Garner's going to be the backup.
Wait! Actually, I just got This is actually a breaking update. We just re-signed Larry Johnson, and we're about to re-sign Larry Johnson. Yeah.
Wow.
Jason Lockenford just posted on Twitter.
Oh, there you go. So there you go. And I'm just speculating here, but I would assume it's a tight end that got cut. We had 5 tight ends on the 53, which is ridiculous.
That's a good assumption.
I would assume that it's Jaron Mastert who got cut, but well, there you go. So we were talking about it earlier. We were surprised he got cut, re-signed, which makes sense because after a certain day, and actually today might be the day, I don't know. Veterans' salaries are not guaranteed if you sign them, so that would explain that. And who knows, maybe Will Allen is another guy that comes back, although I doubt it. That offensive line obviously has been a mess. Vernon Carey has struggled moving inside to right guard. Mark Colombo at right tackle has really, just in a word, been atrocious.
Old,
worn down, slow. He's in both facets, in the passing game and in the run game. He's just been awful.
Yeah.
So that matchup is obviously, I think, what we have to worry about the most. I can't see Miami running the ball very well against New England in this game. The Patriots are really stout up front. They're not going to generate a ton of pressure on Henne, but as far as their run defense, they're very, very stout. And Reggie Bush obviously not the prototypical inside runner, so I would expect Miami to run a lot of stretch plays, a lot of tosses and sweeps, run a lot of screens, try and stretch the Patriots out, try and get Wilfork and Hainsworth tired or off the field. Honestly, I'd be surprised if Henne didn't throw the football 45 times this game. It's gonna be a wide open offense this game, not only because of the new philosophy, but just because of the matchup. So.
And I can picture Daniel Thomas getting a few yards up the middle, but nothing more than that, to be honest. And as far as Henne goes, he's going to have to be the leader he's been all offseason. Or otherwise, this game's completely out of hand. We do have a very good chance against the Patriots. I will say that.
Well, I think we're built to beat them. I think the offseason moves made are built to beat them. Signing Kevin Burnett and letting go of Channing Crowder, that was 100% to beat the Patriots.
100% to beat the Patriots?
100% to beat the Patriots.
But also, that's taking our leader away from the Jets. I'm not saying he's better than Burnett. I'm just saying he was our Jets leader. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah. No, it's in every way you look at it. I think it was a move that was completely devoted and the philosophy behind it was to stop those Patriot tight ends completely. Yeah. So, and I guess moving to that side of the ball now, listen, we're all excited about the Dolphins' defense. New England's going to put up points no matter what.
Of course.
But, I do think that there are some matchups that Miami actually, again, they're built to win. The Patriots, passing game is going to, it's Tom Brady. You're not going to stop him, but at the wide receiver position, I'm not really worried about Ocho Cinco and Deion Branch. Vontae Davis and Sean Smith can put those guys down.
I remember Vontae posting on Twitter they're the best DBs in the league. I don't wholeheartedly agree with that yet. I do think they are the top 5 at this point.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and I think as soon as I think within the next couple of years they can get up to that level, though. I don't think it's out of the question. I think they're better than Patrick Surtain and Sam Madison were at this point in their careers. Are we
going to start bringing in the new speculation?
Well, but so I'm not too worried about the Patriots wide receivers. Again, Gronkowski and Hernandez are great weapons. I mean, they're going to get theirs, but again, the Burnett's and Dansby inside, and we've got some options there to cover those guys. It's Sean Smith moves to safety in the nickel and can cover Hernandez, so I'm not overly worried about those. We've got good matchups there. I don't know if the Patriots are going to run the football extremely effectively against Miami. Their offensive line's banged up. I think Brian Waters is scheduled to start, and he just signed last week, or this week actually. So I mean, there's some matchups that Miami can take advantage of, but it's Tom Brady. They're going to put up points.
No, the one matchup I'm extremely worried about is I don't know our cornerbacks, our third string cornerback. Who do you know who that is? Who's starting in that spot?
I think it's going to be Benny Sapp. And that's the matchup, against Wes Walker.
That's difficult. That's why we would need Will Allen back, just to veteran, find a way to keep up with him.
Yeah. No,
let's face it, he's probably one of the best receivers in the league. So
without a doubt, and still the best slot guy in the league. So
of course.
He's not. I don't know if he is what he once was. He hasn't looked quite the same since the ACL, but he's still the premier slot guy in the league.
Yeah.
And Benny Sapp is. He's going to get roasted on Monday. Let's be realistic. He's going to get roasted for probably 8 or 9 throws that way. But as we have already just 3 minutes left here. But
that always happens.
Yeah, I know. Time flies when we're talking Dolphins football. But I think the important thing for Miami, again, the Patriots are going to move the ball. It's Tom Brady. You can't expect to shut him out or hold him to within 10 points. I mean, they're going to put up points, but I think the important thing is bend but don't break. Okay, you have to do everything possible to hold him out of the end zone. Hope for a big play. Defensively from a guy like Cameron Wake or Carlos Dansby to hopefully force him into a field goal, but can't let him into the end zone consistently. And offensively, the opposite. You can't settle for field goals because Tom Brady is going to put up points. You have to put the ball in the end zone when you get inside the red zone. That's huge, and that's something that Miami didn't do last season, and that's going to have to change, and it's going to have to start week 1.
Very true, very true.
Just a quick message for Dolphins fans out there who are going to the game. Be loud, make noise. I mean, Coach Sperano, unfortunately, has had the speakers on at practice to simulate crowd noise because he says he expects a ton of Patriots fans to be there. I mean, and that was kind of a slap in the face, although one that was justified. I mean,
it was.
This team, unfortunately, the fan base right now doesn't believe, and many of them don't want to believe in Sperano and Henne.
Or Henne, for that matter, yeah.
Yeah, and the rest of this team, and that's unfortunate. But as we approach with just 1 minute left, why don't I get a prediction out of you, Matt? What are you thinking in this game?
Obviously, I'm a Dolphins fan, so I have to go with them winning. I do see it as realistic, so my guess would be maybe 24-21 Dolphins.
Yeah, and I am going to make a lot of enemies with this prediction, but I'm in a realistic mood. It's going to be a close game. I think we're so much better than what the national media says we are. I mean, Tom Jackson laughed for 21 seconds in an interview with Ben Volen regarding our chances in this game, which, I mean, that's a little ridiculous. So the national media is not giving us a chance. I wouldn't be surprised if we won at all. I think it's going to be a close game. I think in the end, while Miami is a better team on paper, they've got Tom Brady, and I can't bet against that. I'm going to say 24-20 Patriots, although I could see this game going either way, but I certainly don't see it being a blowout. But that's it. Just 20 more seconds left, so time to say our goodbyes. Be sure to tune in next week where we'll preview the Houston game, hopefully talking about a 1-0 Dolphins team. And until then, peace out, man. It was good talking.
Yeah, see you later, guys.